At 42 years old, I've gone from broke, dumb, and dependent to having a 7-figure net worth and real estate holdings across 3 states. In this video, I'm revealing the 8 things that I quit that completely transform my life, and they can do the same for you. Reason number 1, quit being afraid to fail, turning failure into a stepping stone. 2018 was one of the hardest years of my life. I had just left the security of a salary job to take on a 100% commission role, a leap of faith with no safety net. Then life threw another curveball. My wife and I, at the time, went through a divorce, leaving me alone to raise 2 kids, 2 dogs, and 2 cats, all while being the sole provider. The pressure was real. In that moment, everything changed. It wasn't just my life on the line, it was my family's future, my dreams, everything I had worked for. Failure was not an option. If I was going to succeed and provide for my family, I had to learn to develop the skills I didn't have yet and overcome fears I had avoided and show up for myself every single day. The best way to find success in something is to put yourself in a position where you have no other options. But here's the thing, this dark season became my turning point. The struggle forced me to grow, to push past my limits, and to build a foundation that would shape the next decade of my life. What started as sorrow turned into strength. For the first time, I learned to punch fear in the face and say, you. As Thomas Edison once said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That mindset, embracing failure as a stepping stone, not a roadblock, is what led him to invent the light bulb. And it's what led me to transform my life. Sarah Blakely, the billionaire founder of Spanx, shared how her father would ask her and her siblings every night at dinner, not what they succeeded at that day, but what they failed at. He wanted them to embrace failure, take risks, and grow into who they were meant to be, knowing the only way to do this was by becoming not afraid to fail. As for me, I used to play it safe, afraid of looking stupid, losing money, or making mistakes. That mindset kept me stuck, and it also kept me broke, dependent, and dumb. Most people avoid failure like the plague, but here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the path to success. The path to success and the path to failure are the same path. One just has an earlier exit. Isn't that powerful? It means that as long as you don't quit, you cannot lose. Reason number 2, quit alcohol, the silent killer holding you back. I didn't realize how much alcohol was affecting my life until I took a step back and truly examined my habits. It had become my go-to for stress, socializing, and sometimes even to escape reality. But I didn't wake up to the cold truth until I realized how much it was holding me back from everything I really wanted. And I waited to make a change until the most tragic day of my life. In September 2021, my mom and her fiance went to a beach vacation to the Cozumel coast in Mexico. On their first day, shortly after arriving, my mom waded out into the shallows. A wave came over her and she accidentally inhaled water, becoming unconscious and unresponsive. It took an ambulance about 30 minutes to reach her, and although they managed to get her breathing again, she tragically passed away later that night in a Mexican hospital before I could even arrive. When I finally made it to Mexico and walked into the hospital room, I finally saw her lying there on the medical table and was overwhelmed with grief. And as tears filled my eyes, I made several promises to her. One of the most significant promises I made was that I would never again drink alcohol as a way to honor her and her legacy. You see, my mom was someone who never drank, someone who was always clear-headed and of sober mind and spirit. It became crystal clear to me that I needed to leave that habit behind. This moment, this tragedy, became one of the 2 spiritual awakenings I've had in my life. Although it was the death of my beloved mom that triggered it, it ultimately allowed me to regain perspective, clarify my vision, and change the course I was on. For that shift in direction and for the lessons learned from the painful experience, I will be eternally grateful. Do you have something in your life, a habit maybe, that you know is bad for you, but you just can't bring yourself to change? You keep sweeping it under the rug, telling yourself it's not that big of a deal. For me, that was alcohol. And I'm not talking about having an occasional drink with friends, but the kind of drinking that disrupts your goals, damages your relationships, and slowly eats away at your health. Alcohol can become a silent killer that sabotages your progress, and I was living proof of it. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that a few drinks here and there won't affect your big picture. But the truth is, alcohol can derail your focus, cloud your judgment, and zap your energy in ways that you don't even notice right away. You wake up hungover, feeling sluggish and unmotivated, and suddenly your goals are pushed back yet again. What was supposed to be a fun night out now turns into wasted time, energy, and money. With alcohol, you lose 2 days, the day you spend drinking and the day after. And sometimes it's even 3 or 4. And let's not forget about the long-term health consequences. The effects of excessive drinking build up over time, silently taking a toll on your body. The weight gain, the liver problems, the sleep issues, and more. It all adds up. When I stopped partying and drinking, my focus improved, my energy came back, and I started being present in my relationships. Most importantly, I got back in control of my life. That's when the real growth began. I felt so empowered knowing that this thing no longer has any control over me. And the best part, I didn't just stop drinking, I replaced it with better habits that propelled me forward. It's crazy how much you can accomplish when you're not letting alcohol control your life. Want to get serious about your future? Start with quitting the things that are holding you back and watch how much you can grow. Reason number 3, quit chasing and start attracting. As Tony Robbins says, the secret to living is giving. When you stop chasing, you can focus on giving value, which naturally attracts the right people and opportunities to you. It's not about taking or forcing, it's about giving from a place of abundance. There's a huge difference between chasing and pursuing. Chasing is undisciplined, unorganized, and driven by desperation. You're constantly running after things, trying to force opportunities and people into your life. It's exhausting. You end up burning yourself out, and it feels like you're always one step behind. Sound familiar? But pursuit, on the other hand, is very different. It's intentional. It's about having a clear focus and a clear plan. It's not frantic. It's disciplined, organized, and driven by purpose. When you pursue something, you aren't chasing it. You're actively working toward it with a plan, focus, and determination. You are in control. I didn't realize this until I stopped running after everything and started putting my energy into what truly aligned with my goals and values. I stopped trying to force things, force people, and force relationships into my life, and instead focused on becoming the kind of person who could attract those opportunities naturally. Personal growth became the key to unlocking this shift. And let me tell you, when you shift from chasing to pursuing, something magical happens. Opportunities and people started to find me. I didn't need to go after them anymore. When you show up consistently with intention and determination, things start coming to you. The right people, the right opportunities. They're drawn to the energy you're putting out. Things just start working with you instead of against you. Want to stop chasing and start attracting? Be intentional. Focus on the right things, plan with purpose, and put in the work. You'll be amazed at how things start to align in your favor. Reason number 4, quit living paycheck to paycheck. I used to be a statistic, living like 79% of Americans who live paycheck to paycheck, always feeling like I had to work harder just to keep up with the bills, expenses, and all the things I wanted in life. But when I stopped spending every dollar I made and started focusing on saving and investing and shifted my perspective from what I want now to what kind of life do I want to live 10 years from now, that is when everything started to change. Now I pay myself first. I've made it a habit to set aside a portion of my income, a minimum of 15% right off the top before anything else. It's not about surviving. It's about building a wealth machine that keeps growing, even when I'm not working. The money I've saved and invested is now working for me, and that's the exciting part. My wealth machine is burning and my wealth is growing. But this was something that took me a long time to realize. Are you going to live from a place of demand or abundance? Most people live in demand, constantly feeling like they need more just to survive. They live in a mindset of scarcity, that they don't have enough, that the money is tight, and that they'll always be playing catch up. But there's another way. Living from a place of abundance means knowing that you do have enough. It's being thankful for what you do have, no matter how much or how little you actually have, that you're taking control of your money, and that you're investing in your future. It's about shifting your mindset and making the conscious decisions to build wealth, not just try to keep up with it. As Robert Kiyosaki says in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. The wealthiest people understand that the first step to wealth is to pay yourself first, not just spend all your money as it comes in. Most people think that they need to spend every dollar to maintain a certain lifestyle, but in reality, it's the people who pay themselves first who end up building real wealth. It's all about how you manage your money. Poor people buy things, but the wealthy pay themselves first. Instead of buying stuff they don't need, they invest in assets, things that will increase in value over time. Instead of getting caught up in consumerism, they focus on financial freedom. Want to stop living paycheck to paycheck? Then start paying yourself first, save and invest for your future, and build your wealth machine and watch how it starts working for you. Shift your mindset from scarcity to one of abundance and watch the opportunities begin to flow in. Reason number 5, quit thinking about my dream car and started envisioning my dream life. Now, let's be real. The dream car is one of the biggest traps out there. It's sold to us as a status symbol, a reward for making it. But here's what they don't tell you. It's a depreciating asset that locks you into years of payments, takes money out of your pocket, and delays your financial freedom. That is really what your dream car is. So many times the dream car represents instant gratification, and it will keep the person in the driver's seat poor. Instead of chasing short-term thrills, I started to shift my focus to something far more meaningful, my dream life. A life of financial independence, deep relationships, and a loving family. A life filled with health, fitness, and the joy of being around dogs, cats, and other fun animals. A life with endless options, freedom, and the ability to spend my time exactly how I choose. When I pictured that dream life, do you know what wasn't missing? A car payment. Now, I might someday have a fun car, but only if it fits into my dream life. And here's something else. I won't finance it. Have you ever been inspired by a character in a book or movie and thought, that's the person I want to become? I had one of those moments watching Meet Joe Black, where Anthony Hopkins plays William Parrish, a wealthy media mogul. Throughout the film, he reflects on his life, his legacy, and what truly matters: love, family, integrity, and faith. He embodies wisdom, dignity, and the understanding that material wealth means little without meaningful relationships and purpose. He also engages with others authentically and is an exceptional communicator.
What a glorious night.
These are the qualities that I want to strive for in my own life. Find someone or a character whose values align with yours and let their example guide and inspire your own journey. So I ditched the dream car mentality and started investing in the dream life. Because financial freedom isn't about looking rich, it's about being rich. Being rich in time, choices, and opportunities. Reason number 6, quit saying yes to things that disrupt my peace. It's easy to say yes, especially when your heart is in the right place. But I've learned that just because you want to do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And in cases like this, saying yes often means saying no to your peace. Take Zeus, for example. He's such an incredible dog who needs a new home. We love him and everything in me wants to help. But bringing him into our home would disrupt the peace and energy that we've worked so hard for. Our current wolf pack wouldn't accept him. And instead of harmony, we'd have chaos. As much as it hurts, I had to say no. The lesson goes beyond pets. It applies to life. Whether it's relationships, commitments, or opportunities, saying yes to the wrong things can throw everything off balance. Peace is priceless, and I've learned to protect it at all costs. If you don't have peace in your life, then what do you really have? Reason number 7, quit caring what others think. In the subtle art of not giving a Mark Manson explains that true freedom comes from focusing on what actually matters, your goals, your values, and your happiness, not random opinions. I used to let other people's opinions weigh me down. But here's what I finally realized. People are going to judge you no matter what. If you fail, they'll criticize you for being a loser. If you succeed, then they'll criticize you and question you. So why not just win? According to a study by the University of Southern California, 90% of people's opinions about you are based on their own insecurities, not on anything you've actually done. So remember, the next time someone is critical of you, it's probably really about them and not you. Reason number 8, quit relying on a salary. Learn to find performance-based work. For the longest time, I believed that the corporate salary was the key to job security. It seemed like the safest path to success. Get a solid job at a reputable company, climb the corporate ladder, and eventually hit the goals that would secure my future. Or so I thought. I thought I was doing everything right, working hard, hitting my targets, and moving up the ranks. In fact, I was a retail lending banking manager at Wells Fargo and one of the top performers in my role. I had the consistent paycheck, the benefits, and all the things that were supposed to bring stability. I thought this was it. This was the safe, secure route to building a career and a comfortable life. But that belief system came crashing down when I was unexpectedly laid off. Despite my strong performance, despite being recognized as one of the best in my position, I was let go without any warning. The company didn't care about my results or my dedication. They only saw me as an expense line item, a cost that could be cut. It didn't matter that I had contributed to the success of the branch, built relationships with clients, or helped boost revenue. I was literally just another number, another name on the list. That moment was a wake-up call. It shattered the illusion that job security comes from a salary and taught me the harsh truth. The corporate world doesn't value you the way you might think it does. A recent Harvard Business Review article discusses how many companies today are focusing more on cutting costs than rewarding top talent. Performance often takes a back seat when it comes to company restructuring, layoffs, and financial decisions. But here's the twist. I look at that moment as a blessing in disguise. Instead of letting that experience defeat me, it fueled me. I realized that relying on a salary wasn't the solution to building the life I wanted. The layoff was the push I needed to pivot back into performance-based work, where my income wouldn't be dictated by company budgets or corporate restructuring. It gave me the courage to take control of my own future. In performance-based work, my income could rise based on my effort, my value, and most importantly, my results, not on someone else's decision. Thanks for watching. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We're working hard to hit 100,000 subscribers. Join the American Money 101 family and let's continue this journey together. God bless.